Hello, people. You're welcome to ProUp Masterclass. My name is Tola T.A. Alabi. And in today's class, I want to talk a little bit about friendship. And leading up to this class, I did a podcast a while back, um, and I called it Lessons for Men in Their 20s and 30s. And I think it would be a great podcast for you to listen to if you've not heard it. So you might want to go back and listen to it. Um, and it doesn't really matter whether you're in your 20s or 30s or whether you're a man or not. I think everyone will be able to relate to this podcast. But in that podcast, I said something about um, being friends with the person you are in a relationship with and the person you get married to. And someone in my mentoring club asked the question. It says, how do you become friends with your partner? And how do you know you are friends with your partner? Whether in marriage or in a relationship, but especially in marriage. And he said he hears that a lot, that you need to get married to your friend. What does that mean? And I think that's a really great question that he asked, because friendship is one of the most abused words in the world today. But yet, friendship is a very deep word, but it's easily abused in today's world. So I think it's a great question he asked, because sometimes you don't even know whether you're friends with this person you intend to get married to or this person you're married to. And so I'm going to try in my own best way to talk about friendship in marriage. And I hope it helps someone out there today. So a couple of weeks ago, I put out a tweet saying, a friend is a person for whom you are willing to sacrifice your pride, your privacy, and your preferences. A friend is a person for whom you are willing to sacrifice your pride, your privacy, and your preferences. Now, I'm going to be basing this podcast on that tweet. I'm going to try to break down that tweet. You see, friendship is about three things. It rests on three pillars: on the sacrifice of pride, the sacrifice of privacy, and the sacrifice of preferences. So if you want to know if someone is your friend, you must be able to ask yourself, am I willing to sacrifice my pride for this person? Am I willing to sacrifice my privacy for this person? And am I willing to sacrifice my preferences for this person? Am I willing to? I'm not really saying, have I? You understand? So friendship is not an achievement. It's something you work on daily. So you can't say, oh, I have sacrificed my privacy in the past. I've sacrificed my pride. I've sacrificed my preferences. No. Am I daily willing to sacrifice these things for this person that I'm in a relationship with or that I'm married to? And you realize that marriages that have serious challenges, the challenges are usually rooted in one of these three things: a refusal to sacrifice pride, a refusal to sacrifice privacy, and a refusal to sacrifice preferences. So I'll start with pride, because pride seems to be the most, the one we hold dearly to as human beings. We all have an amount of pride in us. And pride can be a healthy thing if it's in form of esteem, where you have a good knowledge of who you are as a person. But pride can be a dangerous thing when it comes from insecurity and wanting to be perceived as someone with high esteem. And I see a lot of male-female relationships are ruined by pride. A lot. ruined by this thing called pride. And pride is basically, you just saying, I can't do this thing because it is beneath me. I consider it as beneath me. That's pride. So I hear a lot of men say, like I can never do that for a woman. I can never do that for a woman. Or I can never wash plates for a woman. I can never wash a woman's clothes. I can never sweep the floor for a woman. You know, I can't open the door for a woman. You know, you know. I see a lot of women say, I can never do this for a man. That's just beneath me. A woman doing this for a man is just beneath me. I can't do this for a man. I can't iron a man's clothes. I can't greet a man in this particular way because he's not my father. Only my father deserves that amount of respect. I can't serve a man food. Those are things that are very founded in pride, and those things ruin relationship and ruin friendships, especially in marriage. When you go into your marriage thinking, I can't do this for this person. And sometimes these things are thoughts that are pushed on us through unhealthy conversations, unhealthy associations that we have with people, where you just feel, oh, this is the common mentality now. Don't ever do this for a woman. If you do this for a woman, you are a simp. There's a word that's flying around right now on social media, on Twitter, where a guy that is willing to go all out for a woman is considered a simp. It's a very dangerous word because it allows men to put up a wall of pride. So you see, even men with good intentions, because they don't want to be seen as simps, put up walls of pride. And it stops them from connecting with their partners in marriage and having beautiful marriage relationships. So pride is a very dangerous thing. One thing you must be able to give up for a friend is your pride. There's nothing you can't do for a friend. A friend is that person for whom you can do anything for. Nothing is beneath you to do for a friend, especially a friend with whom you are married. So pride is the first thing you must be willing to give up. So for that person you're married to, is there anything too low you can't do for them? Ask yourself that question. Second thing is privacy. Privacy. A friend is someone for whom you are willing to sacrifice your privacy. You must be willing to share with a friend those intimate, private things. A lot of times we hold on to private things. When you're married to somebody, you cannot have secrets anymore. A lot of marriages are ruined because of secrets. You cannot have a friend and have secrets. And there are so many marriages that have gone for years and they're like, oh man, my wife doesn't know this thing about me. My husband will never know this thing about me. That is what's killing your marriage. That is what's killing the friendship in your marriage. So you're not killing the marriage directly, you're killing the friendship. And when the friendship dies, that's the root of the marriage dies. Privacy. So ask yourself, am I willing to share this intimate, vulnerable part of my life, of my story with my partner? Am I willing? Am I willing? Am I willing? Privacy is a friendship killer. Whether romantic friendship or platonic friendships, someone with whom you are not willing to really talk about private things cannot be your friend. And that's why I really believe that, especially with men, we don't really build strong friendships because men have a lot of secrets. You understand? Men have a lot of secrets that they keep to themselves. Women have secrets too, but it's bad with men because even with your fellow man, There are a lot of things you do not say. So with men, you might see us hang around, laugh together, watch football together, but we don't really have deep conversations because there's a lot of privacy. And we're like, oh, what's his business with this? So men suffer in silence a lot, and they take this into marriage, where you have a problem, you don't talk about it. It might be a health problem, you never talk about it. Especially when the problem has to do with what they see as their masculinity. You understand? So it's a problem with intimacy, with sex. They don't talk about it. A lot of men go into marriage and they are unable to have children, and they know the reason why they are unable to have children, but they just keep mum. They never talk about it with anybody, with a doctor, with a friend, and never with their wife. So they suffer in silence, and because of that, other people suffer too. Privacy. You must be able to sacrifice your privacy for a friend. So ask yourself, that person you're in a relationship with, are you willing to sacrifice your privacy for them? The third and last thing I want to talk about is preferences. And this is where we all have personal preferences as people. It makes us who we are. We like particular colors, particular style of clothes, particular foods, particular books, particular movies. You understand? It makes us unique, our preferences. But then with friendship, we cannot hold on ruggedly to our preferences. Sometimes you need to sacrifice your preferences for this person you claim to love and you're in a relationship with. You cannot hold on ruggedly to your preferences. A lot of marriages, I see people who hold on to their preferences. Oh, I don't eat this. I've never eaten this. My mother never said me this. My father never gave me this. I don't do this. I don't do this. I don't like this. You understand? So there's no togetherness. And this is where we must really remember that in life, not everything has to be enjoyed. Some things have to be endured for us to have progress. So you want to enjoy everything. You want to enjoy every meal. So every meal you don't like should not be served in your house. Every meal you don't like, you will not cook. You understand? Because you want to enjoy every meal. But there are some times you need to endure some meals just because the other person likes it. This was a challenge for me personally in marriage because I had some preferences. My wife had some preferences, and we're like, oh, I'll tell her, oh, I don't eat this, and she'll say, I don't eat this. And then sometimes she says, we've not eaten this in this house because you don't like it. And sometimes I'll say, you don't eat enough of this because you don't like it. And I realized that there's some things I had some preferences for food-wise that when I started to eat them sacrifice those things because of my friendship for my wife, I realized they were not that bad after all. My preferences started to change. You understand? And that's maturity. When you can sacrifice your preferences for somebody else. Only an immature person holds on ruggedly to their preferences and throws a tantrum when things are not done their way. And marriage needs maturity. I remember when we started having dogs and we have animals in the house. We have dogs, we have tortoises. My wife is not an animal person. She has never been. But I'm a great animal lover. And when we had dogs and we have tortoises, she was able to accommodate these things and put aside her preferences. And that makes me even love her more. You understand? And there are marriages where these things would have torn apart the marriage, would have torn apart the relationship. But this has helped our relationship to grow. She had to endure some of these things. And by enduring them, she gets to enjoy her marriage and enjoy me. So giving up your preferences is a great way to keep your friendship and to know who your friends are. Am I willing to give up my preferences for this person? So these three things are very important if you want to test who your friends are in a marriage relationship or even in a platonic relationship. Friendship is not a word to be taken lightly. We take acquaintances for friendship, colleagues for friendship. No. Friendship is a deep word. It takes sacrifice. You must be willing to sacrifice your pride. You must be willing to sacrifice your preferences, and you must be willing to sacrifice your privacy Very important. When you're able to sacrifice these things, you're able to build strong bonds of friendship with who you're with. But one thing I must let you know is that you might not start out this way. It's the intent to say, I am willing. Each and every day. It's not an achievement. You never achieve it. You are willing to do it every day. You work on it every day and say, I'm willing, I'm willing, I'm willing. Because there are things that will always come up every day to test these three things. And the more you're willing to sacrifice them, the more you realize you are in a loving relationship with this person you are with.